Hey guys, it's Tristan here from PropertyToolkit. Today I wanted to run through how you can use Rightmove and Zoopla to be able to find the direct to vendor addresses. So how you can put a letter straight in the post, they're going to be able to receive it, and you're going to be able to build that rapport where you can get slightly more creative deals and opportunities to invest with people. And so this is really quite an interesting technique that I've learned and how to use to get in touch with these people and find their addresses. So this is all part of a series running all the way through how you can get in touch with people, get direct, and work like that. I'm also going to explain how you can automate the whole process so then you can just find these addresses straight away and send letters almost immediately. Or follow up on LinkedIn, Facebook, yada yada. That's all in the rest of the series. So I'm going to jump straight in with Rightmove and how you can possibly find it, and on Zoopla. So the first thing of everything is every single advert and listing that's out there has an address on it. So whether it's going to be partial address, so part of the address of the property, which it could be like, High Street, Southampton, SO14, or it could be, Church Lane, Portsmouth. You always get given a partial address. And if you don't get the whole partial address, if you take a look at the maps section of each of these sites, you can just click on those and they would have been dropped a pin on the location that you're looking for. And the reason this is useful is you can then take that pin, have a look at the address on there, and that'll give you the road name and obviously the area that you're in. So first of all, that's the first thing we've got the road name and the area that we're in. But if you send a letter to there, chances are it's not going to get to the person. So how do we actually find the property number or address? The simplest one, and this works for both of them, is just to simply click on the pictures. And usually, I say probably about half of the time, you'll have a door number left on there. Some cunning agents have got the stage now where they Photoshop out the door numbers. I've seen this by Jackson's in southwest London. They've completely covered and cut them out so you can't find them. But what you can do is you can take a look on it, and if you can see by clicking on the high-res image on it, the door number on there, then you just write that down. Sometimes there might be a bin left outside or whatever else. So that's not a particularly clever way of doing it, but there's a way of getting hold of it. The next bit you can do is you can scroll down. Okay, so this one's on Rightmove. So if you scroll down the page, you'll get down to the bottom and you'll see a friendly little meerkat advert. If you click that advert, then what it does is it will tell you how quick the broadband is in that area. But to do that, it gives you a postcode. And in that postcode, you can no longer copy and paste it from their website. It just doesn't allow you to. But what it does let you do is you can just type it down and write it up yourself to work out what the postcode is. So now what you would have had if you were on Rightmove there, you've now got the address and you've got the proper postcode for it. And you may even have the door number from where you've looked at one on the property. So that's one way of getting it for Rightmove. The other bit you can do on Rightmove, and this is going to cross over to Zoopla as well, but if you click on the Market Info tab, it might give you the sold data on the property. So it'll turn around and say this property was last sold in 2017 for $250,000 on High Street, Southampton. So what you can then do is simply just Google June 2017 High Street, Southampton sold prices, and up will come sold prices from Rightmove or Zoopla, and one of them somewhere will have that match. So if you click that page, and then I'll explain later, but if you then use a function called search inside your own browser, you press Control and F, that's the Control key and the F key, and type in the price, then you will then look through and you should be able to find the whole address for that property. So that's using sold data. So using that, you can then automatically work out where they live or what the address is to be able to send them a letter in the post. Okay, the other bits that we can look for, and then the same thing just on that point, is on Zoopla. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the advert in the description, it has last sold date or first listed, and if it's got that price and that date, you can repeat the same process again and find their address. The other thing you can do is look at the EPC links. So Rightmove doesn't offer this. Rightmove only gives you an image. Whereas if you go on Zoopla and you scroll down to the bottom, sometimes it gives you an EPC link, and that will say PDF. If you click the PDF, that'll open up and that'll give you the full property address again. And again, you copy that over and you've got another way of getting the whole property address there too. Sometimes if I've found the postcode on Rightmove and I'm at a complete dead blank and I can't work out what the property address is from any sold data or from the pictures or whatever else, I will take that same postcode, put it into Zoopla and repeat the same search to be able to find it, because that's a way of making sure you've got the right information. So that's a couple of ways of finding it. The other bit you can do is sometimes, and this is a slightly more tricky way, agents don't rename some of their files or whatever else. So if you go down to the bottom of again on Zoopla to the bottom of it, you might have a brochure link, a brochure PDF. If you click that PDF, then what it'll do is it sometimes just gives you the full address. If it doesn't give you the full address, if you're using a PDF reader or if it's logged in with your internet browser, in the top there'll be a little title and that will give you the property name because they haven't retitled their property. So there you go. That's now, I think, 3 ways of finding it. So we've found all that, or we're still struggling. We're still struggling. Go to the floor plan. If you click on the floor plan, then sometimes on Zoopla they won't have renamed it. And again, that's where it might get the title or the address for it. So now that is pretty much every single way that you'll be able to find it by looking through all the details on there, whether you've looked at pictures, everything else. The one last thing you can do if you still really want to get hold of that address and you're struggling for all things, because you've got at least the street name and the partial postcode, and you can see where on a map roughly that is on the little map on Rightmove or Zoopla. What I want you to do this time is go over to Google Maps, search that address, and what we're going to do is we're going to look on the map on Rightmove and we're going to think, okay, that property is roughly there, it's roughly there, okay, so we match that on our map, drop in, and then when you're just simply going to do, and this isn't the most exciting way of doing it, but you're simply doing like a Where's Wally, and you're looking through to find the house that matches the house that looks exactly the same, and you're looking for all the differences. If it's the same property, you take that number and then you can just put a letter in the post. So as I said at the start of the video, I was going to tell you how you could automate all this. As I said, I run something called PropertyToolkit, and we've built a direct vendor tool that just picks these up. It automatically works out the property addresses for you where it can, and then that means you can just pop a letter straight to them in the post without having to work it out. And this also helps find deals that are potentially like lease options, creative stuff where it's dual listed, multi-agent, etc., etc. Keep watching through the rest of the series. At the very end of the series, I'm going to tell you how it all works, what we're doing, and how it can be really useful to you. If you've got any questions or any comments, pop them in the below.